brother that's in town. And then he said dodgeball. I was like, nah, I want to stay and play. Like, I haven't played dodgeball since high school, and it was like, I'm going to stay and play. And we was there for another hour, so it was like, oh, dang. Like, where'd the time go?
What were these last few days like for you in this program coming off that Tennessee game?
A lot of hate, I guess you could say. Social media site was kind of crazy. It was entertaining though. I mean, it was crazy though. Just a lot of people not thinking that I was good enough to play here, blah blah blah. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's just as long as you block that out and you just go hard all the time, you'll be fine.
If you're not careful when you play for Kentucky and you get into that, can it really get to you? Can it feel like a burden?
Absolutely. I mean, if you're supposed to do something that you don't do, and the fans know that you can do something, they're going to get frustrated with it. Like that game that we played against Tennessee, nobody played with heart or emotion or and by when we did finally start doing it, it was too late. We was already losing by 30, and I mean, shoot, it was frustrating for us. Like it felt like you couldn't do anything. The crowd was hype. They was in this. It was just everything was discombobulated, and you felt like, once you got the ball, you was like, oh, what do I do with it? Instead of like calming down and just relaxing and then making a move, it was just everything was just wild.
Is it fair and accurate to say you guys were at a crossroads this night because of how you felt?
What do you mean, like?
At a crossroads, you either had to turn around now or things could really start.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We was talking, the past few days leading up into this was just, we're not getting blown out like that again. We got to move up from here. We're not out of the rate, just positive stuff like, we're not out of the, we can still make the tourney and, we can still turn things around. We just got to keep progressing every day.
Did you feel like with the Tennessee game, you guys had hit bottom, and of course, hitting bottom, there is no way to go but up?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I remember when I texted my mom that night, it was like, can't get any worse than that. I've never played a worse game than that in my life, and my teammates never played a worse game in their life. And it was like, you can only go up from here. Like, there's nowhere else to go down. So I mean, you gotta have the mindset of you're going somewhere. I mean,
how do you explain going from the worst game to maybe the best game tonight?
I got to give gratitude to my teammates. I mean, when they play like that, that helps me because, I'm not necessarily a guy that's just going to grab a ball and make something happen. When my teammates are doing their thing, and then that opens my game because now, I could shoot into a gap and then, do a little jump hook or, get lob dunks. And it's fun to play that way instead of, like, feeling like I have to, make a move and be a scorer off of, just straight, here, give me the ball, and y'all just fan out and then, get double teamed and stuff like that. It's just not fun playing like that.
Willie, when did you guys record the new video like before the game?
Yesterday.
It was almost kind of like you were psyching yourselves up with that. I know it's intended for the crowd, but did you have that sense when you were doing it?
No, I thought it was silly when we was doing it because, like, especially after, like, me and Ryan said the same line and I had to say it with, like, a more emotion, I was, like, fresh off a nap. I just got out of class an hour before that, and then I was fresh off a nap, and I was just like, man, are you serious? I gotta like try to do this with emotion. Like, you can't catch me after I wake up. And so it was kind of, I felt like I was goofy when I was doing it. And then our video guys they're good at what they do because, I mean, honestly, I got so excited after we seen it. Like, I started like tearing up. I was so excited. I was like, all right, it's time to go. Like, I think it got us boosted. Like, after talking to Julius and stuff, it was like, that video was like, got me hyping. The music was just, everything, it was just crazy.
When did you see it for the first time?
Starting lineup.
Here tonight? So,
Yeah.
Okay, so you hadn't gotten the preview.
Whose idea was it?
I'm not sure.
Willie, how much dodgeball loosening you guys up? How tight were you guys beforehand? How much should we put into that in terms of how tight you were before that happened as a team?
What do you mean?
How tight were you guys as a team with the practices you had before Tennessee and all that? And then you guys play dodgeball, and it's like the first time we've heard of you guys being loose and ignoring each other. How much is that a factor?
I mean, it's a big factor because, especially when you lose that bad, it's just, you feel like for a good 2 days, I just felt depressed. Like, I didn't want to come out of my room. you know, I was happy we had a day off on Sunday so I could just stay in my room. Like, I put a sheet over my window. It was just dark. You know, I could just watch Netflix all day and eat when I needed to. And you just feel real depressed. And I was, like, grumpy. Like, I didn't want to text nobody. And it was good to, like, have something, like, happy and encouraging, you know, with coaches. And then, you know, even, like, the practice, that Monday practice was, you know, we didn't necessarily have a good practice. We was kind of sloppy running the new offense we just put in. And it was just like, dang. And then he put in the dodgeball, and it was like you forgot about all of it. And then you just, you know, we just balled.